All right.
All right, so we are coming to you live today from Front Street in San Pedro on the island of Ambergris Caye. And I am Laura Diffendahl. I am the Belize correspondent for International Living. And I have a lot of news to share with you today. And thankfully, I have a little help from my assistant, Melody Wolf. And we are in her studio where she creates a mountain of art. We'll talk about that in just a moment. But we are going to talk about a lot of great Belize celebrations, best time to come. We thought this was a perfect time because a lot of North Americans are just starting to think about travel again and want to know, if I'm going to travel a little less this year, what's my very best time I could come? Tell me about the weather. Tell me about the celebrations. Like, what is the very best date I could pick? So I also want to start by saying we had some very, very big news this week. The Philip Goldson Airport, a lot of people call it the Belize City Airport, the one and only international airport in the country, is going to be reopening on August 15th. So, like everything in this strange time we're in, this can possibly change. You know, a lot of our decisions are based on what's happening in the rest of the world, so please take note of that. But as of right now, August 15th, they are going to start allowing international travelers through the airport. And if you want to get the most reliable, up-to-date information about, as a traveler, what you'll have to do, I recommend you follow the Belize Tourism Board's Facebook page and their website, because they are our authority of who we're going to be following. I do want to say that right now it looks like there's going to be a certain number of hotels or resorts that are going to be able to open for the first phase of international travel. And there's a list of rules. Those hotels, they have to have certain amenities, certain abilities to care for guests and keep it very safe at the beginning. And the hope is that we will move into the next phase after that. That will be more permissive if everything goes well, everything is safe. And we just can't give every bit of information right now, but we will keep you up to date as every new bit of information comes out. So let's go into some more other fun things. Today is June 30th, and tomorrow ends our state of emergency for the first time since COVID began. And we are all very excited about that, because as of tomorrow, we are still going to be wearing masks. Got my mask around here somewhere, but we are inside right now. You don't have to wear a mask while you're driving. You do not have to have a limit of a number of people at a social gathering. All businesses are allowed to open. So everybody is very, very excited about this. A lot of the domestic travel in the country has really picked up. We are seeing travelers from all over the world, all over the country, being able to visit other parts of the country for really incredible prices. And I know personally I have met people that live and work here and I never would have gotten a chance to meet. So looking on the bright side, that's been a really wonderful part of the last 90 days. And
Yeah, I got to stay at Pure.
yes, and Melody is one of those people that we've been able to meet a lot of mutual friends that we wouldn't have had a reason to, because it's a very tourism-based culture here, and we get very invested in making sure our tourists have a great time, sometimes to the detriment of not always being able to spend time with each other. One other thing I want to point out is Placencia Airport, as of right now, is going to be closed down, they say, for up to 4 months while they expand their runway, add lights. It is really for the best in the future, but for right now, there is some redirecting of those flights. So I would be happy to share that. It's a little more detailed. We won't cover that right now, but an important part to know if that was where you were planning on going. And I had to take down some notes because there's just a lot to cover right now.
I had to research.
Yes, so
I had to do some research.
we tried to research to make sure we give you accurate information. And so being June 30th, we did miss during this COVID a lot of great events people come down to Belize for. Belize is known as a very, very celebratory, festive, fun place. There's more holidays here. I always like it on Monday.
We celebrate all our holidays and we adopt everybody else's holidays too.
That's a great way to say
So
it.
I've already seen posts going up for people who want to celebrate Canada's holiday. I think I saw that Banyan Bay is going to do something for people, Canadians that want to do Canadian 4th of what I don't even know what date.
Their Independence Day. And this week, obviously, we're going to be coming up on Saturday is the American July 4th holiday. And I do feel like Belize is very, very open, whether it's Thanksgiving or the Canada, the Boxing Day, whatever. Everybody here's like, it's a reason to party and have fun. Let's do
Laura,
it.
Growing up, I had no idea Thanksgiving was a Belizean holiday because since I was 4 years old, like my mom was Belizean and my dad was an expat, so we always went to our neighbor's house and had Thanksgiving, and it wasn't until I was older that I realized, this isn't a Belizean holiday.
That's hilarious. And I think the longer you're here, like sometimes I'm like, oh, okay, what? Okay, it's like, okay, I know July 4th is not obviously a Belize holiday, but everyone's happy to celebrate it. So, like this coming Saturday, there's a mountain of fun events all over the island. A lot of people ask, like, well, do you do the events? All of them. You will find all of them. There's enough mix. It's one of the great things that we always say about Belize is so many cultures here, and especially what's going on in the world right now, it's lovely to see everybody will celebrate everything. It's a really nice, there's also in May, like Cinco de Mayo, obviously a Mexican holiday is very big here. We didn't celebrate it this year really because of COVID. Memorial Day is usually a huge American holiday because it's a long weekend. It's usually a very, very busy weekend on the island and throughout the country. And then like down south, there's the Chocolate Festival, which a lot of people will come down. Cacao is a really, really huge deal down south. A lot of Mayan history with cacao.
So many great products that come out of it.
No, you're no kidding. Yeah, the chocolate and the dry cacao, tea, and like body products. June is really huge because that's when lobster season.
Lobster Fest, yeah.
So Lobster Fest, we did not, all lobster festivals, the big ones are Ambergris Key, Key Calker, Placencia. They were all canceled this year, but I know down in Placencia they did a lobster crawl instead. And even on this island there was a lot of lobster.
Yeah, I've heard rumors already of different little events that are going to happen by individual bars and stuff that are trying to do their own little lobster celebration.
Yeah.
So
because it's a very big deal for this is a lot of Belize was fishing villages, fishing islands like that. That was what it's been still not only in the history, that's still to this day how people make their living. So Costa Maya in August is another huge event. I mean, absolutely huge. On this island, we're right close to Central Park, if you're wondering where we are, and it's an absolutely huge event. Packed. It is again canceled this year, but their Mayans from all over the country will come celebrate their heritage. There's this beautiful festival. This group of these like very beautiful pageant women with their sashes will like come around the island and.
So I don't know how many Central American countries are, but there's a representative for each country: Mexico, Guatemala, Salvador, and they come down and for about a week or two they have different events that they go to and do, and it all leads up to who wins the Costa Maya crown.
It's really festive.
It's the best part.
And I don't know yet if what's going to happen. There'll probably, like Lobster Fest, be some modified events. And that brings me to September. So September is actually one of the lowest tourism months, but I've been here over 6 years now, and I will tell you that September is one of my favorite months. It is the most festive, one of the most authentic. If you want to see like the real culture of Belize and see the Belize specific celebration, this is one of the self-proclaimed parade queen with us. So I was very lucky. I said, all right, your history is going to be more interesting than mine. Can you tell us about the September?
So I love September for so many reasons. I am a wedding coordinator and I also do paint parties. And September, typically, I don't have that many events going on, and there's still tourists that come down with good reason because there's cheaper prices, everything, like they can get cheaper rooms, cheaper tours. I think some people worry about the rain, but I've never thought of it as a problem because our rains are like this. They come and they go. Like it's like it'll rain for like maybe a few hours. It's not like 2-3 days. I mean, I'm not gonna. Don't quote me on that.
It never happens.
Not that it never happens, but it's pretty rare. And September starts out September 10th when it's the Battle of St. George's Key, when I guess the Spaniards and the English went at war over Belize, and the English won, and so then they named Belize British Honduras. We didn't get our independence until 1981 on the 21st, so that's the main day that we do celebrate.
So September 21st,
huge.
Celebrate day. Don't try to like do any business that day.
Yeah, there's so many great things that happen on the 21st. Tropic Air, you can fly anywhere in the country for only $21. So you can, if you time it right, I know people that go parade hopping from town to town. They'll, okay, like San Pedro's parade's going to be at this time, and Orange Walk's parade's going to be at this time. And so they try and make all the parades, and some of them do it, you know. Every city has their own parade, and each one is unique to the city. Here on the island, we always have like one of the biggest ones, I think, other than Belize City and Orange Walk. But huge costumes, kind of like what you would see in the, is it Bahamas that have the big ones? No.
Well, like
One of the Caribbean
it
countries.
almost feels like a carnival.
Yeah, it's like a carnival celebration. But then you also have like the cutest little kids in like little costumes on their golf carts riding, and everybody dresses. You see babies with stickers on their faces.
Golf carts are all decked out.
Yeah, like
And people work on their costumes like for months. Very, very proud of.
yeah.
That's,
Like you were saying earlier when we were talking, it's the colors. You see everybody wearing red, white, and blue. You know, it's a day that everything's put aside, politics, and everybody just unites to celebrate Belize.
Good vibes,
And I love it. I do it every year, and I'm always exhausted for 2 days after because
all day, nonstop.
if you're coming during September celebration, lots of sunblock. Bring your hats. Hydrate because it is a 3-4 hour long parade in the hot sun.
And if you are like, you may not want to stay like right in a hotel right by the parades because it will go all night. Or you do. I would love to like sit on a balcony and be able to watch it. Yeah. But it doesn't end early. It goes like all night. So, so September is great, and that leads into October maybe a little bit quieter. We actually get a lot of honeymooners during October, but then Halloween is huge. Here, there's like a very historic holiday hotel, the red carpet, and I mean, you will feel like paparazzi are taking pictures of you. It's red carpet as you enter if you are in a costume. It's a big costume contest. That's
and
a lot of
there
fun.
are like a few other places that have started doing Halloween too, so you can like go
Constantia.
Halloween
Hopping.
But I mean, yeah, our Halloween's pretty big here.
And then you went into, like the Thanksgiving is celebrated here. Obviously, it's not a Belize holiday, but you will find plenty of those traditions here. The holidays are that kicks off high season in Belize, and when you get into Christmas, New Year's, all huge celebrations. It is very, very busy here.
We even have a Christmas parade.
Oh yes,
I don't know if they haven't done it. They said they weren't going to do it this year, the boat parade, but a lighted boat parade.
I think it's like December 10th or something.
Something like that. I don't know if they're going to do it this year.
Great.
But they also have, Love FM does like a big parade through the, throughout the country. So they have different dates that they do it where Santa goes down, and it's almost like September and December. I love it.
And then New Year's Eve is another huge event. Most of the towns or villages have fireworks. I know they have them here. I actually can't remember if Placencia does fireworks or not.
I had a friend visiting from the States, and they said like our fireworks were way bigger
They
than
were
the one in their town.
huge.
So I was like, really?
Yeah.
But I think we get them from Mexico. Mexicans are big on fireworks, so.
And then you mentioned like February. I know like in Placencia, there's a lot of like the art, the sidewalk art. That's a huge event down there. And you mentioned something about the February celebration.
So no, we have Carnival, which is kind of leading up to Fat Tuesday. We have 3 days, and it is not pretty and not for the weak. We basically attack each other with paint and eggs and cover you from head to toe. And tourists are warned not to walk. They have now contained it only to this front street.
Right by Central Park again.
Between Central Park and so like they have contained it. So if you do not want to go get painted, do not go down that street. Definitely leave your cameras at home. Wear old raggedy clothes.
Everybody, and then the town council will they cover some things in plastic.
Yeah, they wrap the town clock in plastic and
some storefronts and stuff, and then they'll use that as an excuse to like repaint yearly afterwards. So.
I mean, the day after Fat Tuesday or our Carnival does not smell pretty, so they have to power wash it. I mean, it is egg and paint and
Mardi Gras style.
But it is fun. Another
really
fun thing that happens is we have what we call comparsas, and what comparsas are groups of people dancing on the street in a circle, singing a song. But my favorite are always the Barbies, which is like the manliest of men.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
The manliest of men that normally you'll find at
Yeah.
cholos, like these fishermen, these tour guides, these football players. They dress like drag queens and dance in a circle from house to house collecting money.
I remember, yes.
And it is hysterical,
It's hysterical.
to see like your uncle or your cousin like with balloon boobs just dancing around in a circle. It's pretty funny. So that's another fun time to come down to Belize.
Totally. And she mentioned about the weather, because some people really, if this is their one vacation in the tropics, they want to make sure that they come during a time the weather is great. But the thing is, last few years, I would say, I know this is arguable, but November, December, January have been a little bit more rainy or cloudy, especially this last year. It was kind of like a little chilly. What chilly means, like 70 degrees. But we went through a 6-week drought this last April. It was so disappointing because every day was crisp blue skies, absolutely beautiful. We were in complete quarantine, and no one outside of us were there to enjoy it. We couldn't even really enjoy it because we were kind of locked down. So Belize is a little unpredictable. This has been my experience in over 6 years here. It's just unpredictable. There are cold fronts that come in during the winter that can cause that, couple days of gray drizzle, but the coldest it gets is like 70, maybe high 60s, and very rare. And then in the summer, which is supposed to be rainy months, it usually is during the nighttime. But it should be noted that the more south you go in Belize, there definitely is more rain. And like the thunderstorms down in Placencia, I've been watching my friends post, they love it. These thunderstorms are like, one of them, an average one, is like the worst one I've ever heard. Worst being like dramatic lightning, but and if you love them, you'll be like, oh, this is so cool.
Yeah.
But there is a significantly more rainfall down south than up here. I think it's something like 90 inches or something different.
I think that also because we're like an island and we always have this breeze, even if like it predicts that we're gonna have like horrible storms, most of the time it comes and it goes. And as a wedding coordinator, I get this question a lot. Like, is it going to rain on my wedding day?
Yeah.
And I'm like, I can't tell you if it's going to rain on your wedding day next year in 2022. But I can tell you that you prepare for these things. And your guides won't take you out snorkeling if it's not safe. A lot of the times they'll be like, it'll pass, and you'll go in the rain anyways.
Weirdly, they're almost always right.
Yeah, and it kind of passes and it goes. And honestly, if it is even just drizzling a little bit or raining a little bit, it doesn't affect the water too much. So like you can still do your diving, or when you're out on a boat, you can actually like dodge it. Like I have dodged it for weddings, like going out to do sandbar weddings. And
I know you and I were sitting out on a deck the other day. We were having a little event at our hotel here, and I said that rain clouds kind of looks like it's coming in. And
what was it, like
poured
5 minutes?
5 minutes, and then it was sunny, and then it rained again for like 10 minutes, and that was it for the whole day. It was sunny other than
Even though I think the weather said it was going to be raining all day, but it's just like come and go.
So don't freak out when you look. A lot of people will be on their way in. They're like, should I cancel my trip? It says rain every day. That's what rain every day can usually mean.
Yeah.
So I wanted to also, because Melody has a really, really unique and special, I would call it like an event, an activity here. I wanted to give her a minute if you want to find her or do her art class while you were here. It is, I highly recommend it. So you want to talk for a second about that?
So I just have what you guys call a wine and paint party here, and I've been doing them for about 10 years. And we can go to your hotel, or you can come to one of our studios. We move a little bit just depending on what's going on the island. So the best way to find us is just through our Facebook page, which is Paint and Splash. We also have an Instagram, so you can just like contact us there, see what events we have going on, or set up your own event. It's just a step-by-step class on a canvas, 12 by 12, so you can pack it up in your suitcase. It's guided.
You like Belize scenes that you paint
I
yourself.
can actually grab one
Cool.
to show you guys.
And while she's looking, we are going to, it was a little cloudy this morning, and now it's very pretty here.
So
we are dealing with that.
follow you with your camera.
Go ahead. What's this one?
So this is just like a wine glass with like a little sunset background.
And that's a great size because you can pack that in your luggage. You may have heard about this African dust cloud. We have been dealing with that a little off and on this week So it kind of made the blue skies a little bit not as vibrant, but I don't feel like today it's as strong as it
So
was.
we're gonna follow Laura out to the
We're gonna
beach.
go out to the beach because everybody likes
just
to
follow
see
you.
the water, and we're so close. If you guys know, perfect. I'm gonna flip that around, and
There.
if you,
Okay, I'll follow
oops, you did it. There we go. All right, we're good.
I'll follow you.
Perfect.
I'll
And
hold it and
oh, that's okay. I will just. So here we are. If you guys know San Pedro, we just walked out onto Front Street. This is Sunbreeze Suites, and I'm gonna flip around and show you Melody's very charming studio right
rained a
here.
lot on my side.
Love it. And right down this little alley right here went right out to the sea. That's what one thing that's so great is you are always a minute. Now, as you may know, I'm going to talk a little closer to the camera because it's going to sound like torrential wind, and really it's this really nice tropical breeze. But that wind noise can be a little irritating on the phone sometimes. So we're right next to this apartment building, very popular with people that live and work here, called Reef View, and they have very quiet neighbors, which is this
Great grandma.
Melody's great-grandmother. And it's actually a really lovely, peaceful place, and it's all walled in. And then here we go is the beach. I always like to show you the beach. Some people ask about sargassum. There's a little bit of sargassum that came in all over the Caribbean, but the island did a great job of cleaning that all up. And here we are, kind of heart of one of the hearts of town on the beach here. If you've been here, it probably looks a little familiar to you. That building poking out is the Phoenix.
Palapa Bar to the distance.
Oh yeah, that's Palapa Bar. Everybody knows Palapa Bar. You can hear those waves. Birds. Amigas del Mar. We're right next to Jamble.
Reggae night.
Yeah.
We have the best jerk pit.
Yeah, so this beach is still pretty quiet, obviously, but
We're waiting for you
so
to
peaceful. We are waiting for you to come. So thank you guys so much for joining us today. I'll flip around one more time. And we thank you for helping us. Oh yeah, you know what? That's nice. I could probably leave this here and people would watch for a very long time.
Let's go get some waves crashing. I saw this on somebody's post the other day and I'm like, well, that's fun because people just...
Ooh, I'm in the... And I'm going to end by saying, if I notice you guys have a lot of questions down there, and I will answer as many questions as I can, you can also reach me at belize@internationalliving.com, and I will respond to all emails personally. So thank you so much for joining us.